now tuned into WSIM Radio.
Independent music all the time, every time.
All right, y'all. So I want to welcome y'all to another week of WSIM Radio with Allseer and FM. Go ahead, fellas.
All right, it's Mr. Watson himself. I'm out here in Decatur. You know what I'm saying? Autonomy.com, Walt Up 3 on everything. You know what I'm saying? Get at me.
Yep. Who's up next?
Asher Blitz, Tampa Bay, Florida, holding it down. Doing it up on Twitch right now, twitch.tv/AstroBlitzMusic. Asher Blitz, pretty much just Google me. You see it all,
Oh, you heard him, y'all? He said, Google me, baby.
I like that. I like that. Google me.
Google me, baby.
Google me.
You might as well pop your collar like
now.
Right.
Google me. Not H Crave from North Carolina. At H Crave Music on everything.
Yeah, that's true. He the mashup man. Astro is killing it on Twitch.
10th Wonder out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, Astro, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I've been watching his Twitch. I've been watching his Twitch. He's nice on it, y'all. He's good. He got some good little, don't tweet.
Ooh.
Don't tweet. Astro, he got a nice Twitch channel, but don't tweet when he on damn Twitch, because he gonna read what you said. I said,
yeah.
I said, something. He gonna say, so
Tab Master, bro.
Yeah, he's supposed to do.
Got like 21 tabs up, man.
Right. I said something I was thinking out loud. He gonna say, so what do you mean by that, Allseer?
Yeah.
He got me. I was cracking up. I said, ooh, I better watch out there. Have you checked him out yet, Crave? I know you have. Mr.
Nah, I had, man. I don't ever have service, man.
Oh.
Every time y'all be like, let's go. I'll be like, I can't. I sent y'all a screenshot to show y'all what my Twitter feed looked like. It was from like
I saw that.
Like, I can't do nothing. You saw the X beside the LTE? It's like,
right.
Everything. Like, I ain't got nothing.
We tweet today, he'll answer us a week later. So yeah, y'all, we like, huh? What you talking about? We don't even know.
Hey, will the signal booster work?
Oh, no.
I was gonna get one, and me and my girlfriend, we trying to move, so I was just like, it's not.
You wait till then.
I don't want to spend $400 for no damn reason.
Hey, no, don't do that.
Do you have an eye on the house? You got a house you want? You see one you want?
Well, I mean, I got my eyes on a couple houses. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm house looking, so I'm just like looking. If I move 7 minutes away, I can get internet. That's the sad part.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
You're kidding.
That hurt my heart, man.
No, I'm not.
That'll hurt my heart.
It's the same thing at my mom's house. She lives like 10 minutes on the other side of town, and like no internet.
So everybody's trying to get into that one section of town then.
Well, it's like the closer you get to the main highway, or if you go and live directly in town, you can get internet. You can get fiber. The school has fiber.
Hey, you want fiber? You want fiber?
You can't. No.
Yeah, you do.
You can't get fiber, but the school can get fiber. Put it like that. Like, they got fiber. They got the capability to get fiber, but they don't give it to everybody. Just the school right now. Yeah, that shit.
That's how that works. I'm over here playing with controls, y'all.
What do you?
Yeah. I've been doing the same thing. I'm like, get that echo off there.
We're recording the show, and I'm like, let me see what this does. What does this?
What does do? Put an echo on that if I mess with that a little bit. All right.
Right in the middle of the combo. Y'all like, what he doing?
Yeah, it's messed up.
No, don't worry about it. Oh man. Hey, I brought up some stuff I wanted to talk about with y'all. And anybody can answer this. Any one of us can answer this. What's some things you like about independent music versus mainstream music? And it could be whatever.
Honestly, I don't like. I can say I don't know if I actually like separate it like that. It's probably more so of a like I want to say real versus fake, but that's a little simpler than what I'm saying. I think y'all understand where I'm coming from. I kind of put like authentic versus not, and that can be whether you're like Nipsey was fairly mainstream, but also
But he was
authentic,
underground
you know what I'm
though. No, but see, people don't. He was independent though. I think.
Yeah.
Yes, but he was also at the
But
BET
he was
Awards,
mainstream.
so I put him in that. You know what I'm saying?
On an independent level. So
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he was,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
popping on
right.
the underground, basically.
Okay, let me ask you this: with mainstream, is that a popularity thing or is that a independent thing? Because you can be mainstream and independent. See what I'm saying?
Yes, you can. I've learned that out over the years. There's some people who
Well,
you think.
I'm with you on that whole Nipsey thing because he was definitely like popping. You know what I'm saying? But he was also independent. But he put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, yeah.
he put in a whole lot of work in the past. How many years he put in? But Victory Lap is whenever he catapulted. Like whenever he put that out, it was just like everybody knew. So that was the first album that I heard. For real.
Well, truth be told, he also was killed soon after that. Like that's what really catapulted.
Well,
that,
yeah,
is
it
the
did.
fact that, like soon, he put it out in like right after.
I think it was like a year, wasn't it? Like the year after.
Roughly, yeah, like roughly.
Not even a full year. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Well, I mean, like the next year, it wasn't.
We hear
like
stuff before y'all too, though. We hear stuff out here before y'all do, just like y'all hear stuff before us.
Yeah, of course.
Even with the internet.
Elliot said, you think so?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. Some stuff will be released out here.
I think the internet's closed that gap because I mean, like realistically, outside of the internet, where else would it be released?
You're on Twitter like crazy, so like you catch all the new stuff.
Yeah, Twitter keep you up to date. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't stay up to date. I'll tell you, I didn't hear Kendrick until when did Section 80 drop? Like 2010?
I think so.
Yeah, I didn't hear it until 2011.
I didn't hear it till 2012,
Okay.
2013.
I didn't even hear Section 80 when it came out. Like I didn't even get into him until Good Kid, Mad City.
Same here. Okay, I didn't get into him until I saw the album cover with the minivan on it. And then I said, well, what's this other stuff?
See, I knew about him before that because he was on the Compton album, right? Wasn't that before that?
Nah.
The Compton album Drake dropped? Was that before or after that?
After.
That was after that?
That was after. Like Recipe and all that. Yeah, that was after.
That was after.
Sure?
Because he used that fame of Kendrick to get some publicity.
Right.
Well, see, I remember that first single coming out, and I remember Kendrick not really having a song out yet, and he was the main person rapping on it. You know what I'm saying? But that might have been like, sure.
Yeah. If you look it up, like Section 80 came out in 2010. The Compton, like Straight Outta Compton, came out in like
2015.
2015, right?
Yeah.
So like
4 years after
Good Kid, Mad City had already dropped. Good Kid, Mad City dropped in like 2012. So yeah, like Kendrick was established, but Dre catapulted him with the Recipe. If y'all remember that.
That's what I'm saying. Recipe is what really set him off. Like when we them.
That's the song I'm talking about. That was the song I'm talking about right there.
That's when he really started getting attention, but he didn't really start blowing until, he was on a cop car performing.
That's true.
And then
true.
everyone was like, yo, what is this? That's when he really came in the public spotlight. Like, that's when he became mainstream, I would say.
To get back to all serious questions, basically, man, I think a lot of times it's almost like watching college football or college basketball versus watching the NBA or the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes those guys, they're like super complacent. They cool. Like, they chilling. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to rap no more most of the time.
Major artists?
Yeah. Sometimes they don't. I mean, they have already made it. So they got gimmicks and stuff that they can pull or whatever to make money. They got endorsements and stuff. So they chilling. They ain't worried about. When you talking about an underground artist, they putting their heart and soul in it. You know what I mean? Like, this is all they got. You know what I'm saying? They trying to find a way. And you can hear it in the music. You can feel it.
Because they really try to
grind. What about Tech Nine? Where would you put him? Would you say he's underground? Or would you say he's actually kind of mainstream?
I feel like he's mainstream, but he's independent.
He's 100% independent.
I've never been a Tech Nine.
100% independent. Strange Music is all his brainchild.
I would say he's underground, man, because all his albums, he constantly, like, a lot of the time, he's talking about the fact that, I sell out these places, blah, 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 but you guys still don't put me in that upper echelon of artists. That's a recurring thing in his songs.
He got big tracks, too, but it's just...
He got like 20 albums, bro.
Yeah,
he just dropped an album.
I'm not even a fan. I'm not even a fan of his music. But like, I gotta respect the dude. Like, he put a lot of people on with his shows and stuff in Genius. He put a lot, like Tyler the Creator. I forgot a lot of people. Like, he shout out like a bunch of people. I forgot who it was, but they.
You are now tuned in to WSIM Radio.
There's a lot of, he does a lot for other artists.
Yeah,
he got mainstream appeal though. Like, he got, like, Twister, Busta, M, what's his name? Yellow Wolf. Like, he'd be messing with a lot of mainstream artists, and he has big records, but he's not mainstream. So
he didn't cross over, man.
So
he just can't cross over. Yeah, I don't know why he can't cross over, but
it's that face paint.
Some people ain't made
That's
the
why.
crossover.
It's that face paint.
Yeah, but you got rappers that are all tatted up with face tats and purple hair.
It's not. I'm trying to tell you, it ain't the same. People look at that like, for a long time he had the stigma of devil worship on him. There's a lot of weird stuff to kind of mess with him, like. And he kind of played it up to a certain degree because that was part of his shtick, but it also kind of put him on the outside. Which he finally a millionaire. He'd be all right.
Yeah, he ain't worried about it. He getting paid at all. Mortgage paid. Taxes paid off. He ain't tripping.
He's on Forbes. He's good.
Right. So what do y'all? I mean, back to my question. Some things you like about independent music.
Freedom. Being able to, like, as an independent producer, I could say, hey, I made these beats 2 weeks ago. I now have a beat tape, and now everyone can listen to it. And I don't have any oversight, like, hey, you can't do this, you can't release that. Like, freedom to do what you want. But at the same time, you don't have the pull of a major label behind you. And then again, the tracks that you may be releasing as a major may not be those stuff that you actually want and the fans actually want. Stuff the label wants to push. So, freedom. 100%.
Okay, freedom.
Yeah.
What about you, Mr. Or Ace Crave? What's some things you like about independent music?
I would say that I'm in the same vein with Astro. Freedom is like the key. If you can't create what you want to create or put out what you want to put out, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's always like a toss-up because having that major label behind you to push whatever you putting out. If you can have creative control, you can't. I don't know if they would give you creative control and all your ownership. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that.
No.
But if they could, if you can work out a deal where you can keep part of your ownership and some of your creative control, I think it would be sweet just to have somebody pushing your stuff like you want them to push it. But sometimes they don't push you because they got somebody else that they're trying to push to the forefront, like they did Big Crit at Def Jam. They never gave him the budget to push his music. They never gave him. I mean, it's always an artist at a label that's good, that's great, that doesn't get that push from the label that they need.
Because they don't believe in him enough. They see whatever they see.
They don't believe in him. Yeah. Or they got other priorities. they got their other top artists or whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? That they trying to put all their money into, like what's my man's name? Gunplay. Gunplay was my favorite artist from MMG.
Same.
He never got
Gunplay,
that push, bro.
I think he had a lot of like legal problems too, though. It seemed like
he did. He had his problems.
He beat somebody up.
Got that push.
He beat somebody up.
but rapper wise, I always thought he was like, I thought he was one of the best rappers that in that squad. Yeah.
Didn't he beat somebody up who didn't pay him?
And Stally. Stally's dope.
Oh yeah, I like Stally. Stally don't get
Stally, so underrated.
All right, so what should I listen to by him?
I swear, every time we drop a project,
that one with French
he just dropped an album last year, didn't he?
He got one he did in another country. That was nice.
I think the last one I listened from him was Ohio.
I can't remember his name.
Ohio was
it's almost like whenever those artists put out music, it's almost like they're independent. Almost. Not quite, but it's almost like they're independent.
Yeah,
that's true.
Just announced he's dropping new projects.
Yeah, I ain't heard nothing.
Stally dropping on Friday. Look at this. He's dropping Speak No Blue. New single called Dinosaur, available now.
Really?
Just dropped.
All right.
Nobody's talking about it. What?
Wow, we just brought him up.
Okay. On Twitter.
Hey, share that with the group, or share that in the Facebook group with all the people.
Yeah, I'm about to listen to that tomorrow.
Independent.
I really like Stally, man.
The album comes out Friday, but the single is called Dinosaur. It's out right now. Look at that.
All right, share that in IGN.
That's what's up.
My bad.
That's
and
dope.
for the listeners out there listening, if you want to tune in on Facebook to catch us, Independent Grinders Network group or IGN group, the Chop Shop, you can always look for that and add yourself to that. Send a request to one of us. That's on Facebook. Fun group, the Chop Shop. Be ready to chop it up. That's what we talk about up in here. Now, look at that. We all talking about Stally, and we found out he got an album coming out. I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen.
The single's out right now. Dinosaur, produced by Black Diamond. Look at that. Boom.
Okay. All right.
Even pushes producers out there. Come on. Let's go.
Okay. All right. You posted that quick, Mr. Multi-Window.
This has got Griselda vibes.
I got to give you a nickname. Hey, we got to give Astro a nickname. This man, Quick Draw McGraw or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
People call me Mr. Info. My family calls me Mr. Info.
Man, I thought I was Mr. Info. You? Man.
I posted it in the chat. I posted it in the group. Man. That 32 gigabytes to RAM, man. That's
right. There you go. I got another question for y'all. Is sampling a cheat code for making music?
Nah.
Cheat code?
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
What's the cheat code?
Nah.
So let me just say, years ago, I will be working with musicians. Okay. Oh, A+ is here, y'all. So he's waiting.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we're gonna let him in a second. I gotta go back to.
Let me get my question ready because I might forget.
Huh?
For me, man, I think the sampling is not a cheat code.
I don't think so either.
But I can understand why a violinist would think that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
what do we call sampling?
Like,
is a loop sampling? Is chopping a loop a sample?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, that's a sample.
But is creating my own loop and then chopping it a sample?
You see what I mean?
No.
Who's to say?
Right, and to me, at that point, you're playing the instrument. That's how
sampling is an art form.
Yeah.
How is it a cheat code? If you just take a track and you claim it as your own.
Right.
That's a cheat code. That's not sampling though. That's just stealing. Just taking and changing the pitch or the tempo. That's not. Nah.
All right, y'all. Right. I'm gonna let him in so we can continue this conversation. I'm trying to wait on Mr. Watson, but
okay.
I don't want him waiting too long.
Yeah. Bring him in here.
All right. All right, y'all. It look like he's connecting right now. Can you hear us? Testing. Oh, there we go. Peace, plus.
Peace.
Can't hear you. I can't hear you yet. Hold on. Let me see something. Yeah, I don't hear you. Oh, it says it's connecting your audio right now. It did not connect. Let me see if it's something on my end I can help you with. Nope. I don't see nothing on my end, y'all. Oh, let's see. I still don't hear you, and I don't see nothing to make your sound work.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me? Do like this if you can hear me.
No.
I don't think you can hear us. Let me text you.
What's up, y'all?
What's up with?
How you doing, man? Peace King.
So,
Peace.
Peace Plus. Are you on gallery view so you can see us all, or speaker view?
I can only see who's talking because I'm on the phone.
Okay, I think if you swipe, you can see everybody.
The third one.
All right.
Third one.
It's the third one. I think swipe over in one direction.
Okay. Yeah, I see you now. What's up with y'all?
What's up with it?
Chilling.
What's up?
All right, y'all. So
Peace, man.
I want to welcome to the show none other than legendary hip hop artist who paved the way for a lot of artists. They wouldn't be here without him. A+ of Hieroglyphics, Souls of Mischief.
Yeah, man. Welcome.
Too kind, man. Too kind.
No, that's real. Keeping it real. You see what's new.
I appreciate it. It's good to be here. Thanks for having me on here, and peace to everybody on here, man.
Appreciate you for coming through, man.
Peace. Appreciate it.
Sir.
So I'm gonna let the fellas introduce themselves. I'm all here at MFM. You know me. What's up with it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Watson himself. I'm out here in Decatur, Georgia, man. Producer, rapper, just doing everything.
What's up? Good to meet you, brother.
Indeed. Likewise.
Astro Bliss over in Tampa, Florida. Producer, a little bit of a rapper, DJ, Twitch streamer,
That's what's up, Astro Bliss. Good to meet you, brother.
You too, bro.
Yo, what's up? My name is Age Craze. I'm from North Carolina. I'm a DJ / producer / mashup artist. Yeah, that's pretty much
Word
it.
up, man. My pleasure. My pleasure, fellas.
So I just tell you this, Plus, everybody here is different generations. So we have some interesting conversations sometimes. Sometimes I bring stuff up and they be like, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. Quick question I have for you. As a producer, what do you think about all these different platforms? And do you think it's watering it down, or do you think it's a better opportunity for artists in this game?
You mean what do you mean by platforms? Like
like now, before when you did an album, right, you got to get it copywritten, you got to register it, and then you got to find you a distributor or do it how you would say independent. But now you could just go to you can go to like what's some of the ones y'all CD Baby or
CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid,
right.
Masters. Yeah.
Well, I think personally, it's one of those things that have pros and cons. I think there are more pros than anything, because what it really did was, because because of the advent. I mean, the new technology. And basically, it kind of just cuts out the gatekeepers out of the game. Like back in the day, you had to holler at you had to know an A&R dude and have some kind of juice over there, and your demo or whatever your package could just be in that box. I've seen that box in the corner, just stacked high of some whack shit, some dope shit that just don't get heard because somebody didn't have that particular connection. Well, nowadays, it's kind of like the same system, except you go directly to the distributor instead of having to go through a record company. Now, the downside to that is the funding. If you can't fund yourself, then, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to get your visibility unless you have, the money to spend on yourself. That's where the record label comes in. But personally, to me, I think it gives a lot more opportunities to a lot of artists that might not have had them. The amount of people that can come out with their own music and develop their own audience, whether they be big or small, that just wasn't possible prior to having these platforms. Sure. And and not only that, like the deals you get with these going directly with the platforms are astronomically better than the percentage that you would get from a record company today, and then for the cut they get for funding everything and being the money man. So I think overall it's a good thing to have all of these platforms. That so many more people can have an opportunity to share their artful expression with people. Gotcha. And there's really no reason why people can't get their shit out there. Now, what it does is dependent on a myriad of different circumstances. But anyone in the world can put out a record now, and I think that's dope.
For sure. Okay, right. So do you feel like it's watering it down, or? Absolutely.
I mean, that's the consequence. That's the consequence. It's way more. It's watered down. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot more wax shit. The standard goes down, but more people eating off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like more people than before. It's just one of those things that absolutely is more watered down, and I don't want to say skill level or whatever, just the bar is lower because, and also like, back in the day, you had to actually have some skills to develop some skills and spend some money in studios to get your shit on. And now you got everything you need can be in your closet. You know what I mean?
That's real. That's real.
Yeah.
And it's affordable. Real. I remember when we were making our first records, like real studios were like over $100 an hour back then. On real, and you had to buy big ass reel-to-reel tapes and shit. Now all you got to do is have a laptop, and you can make music for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? It's like so a lot more. So of course, there's going to be a lot more artists out there, and in ranging skill levels. But I think it's good to go, man. I think everybody should get their shot. For
sure.
Somebody's gonna like something from somebody.
That's real, right. Mr. Watson. You had a question?
Yeah, I did. All right. So with that in mind, actually, then what's your process like today? Do you utilize any of that, or is your process the same? Like, have you kept it work with the same people as far as getting your stuff out, or have you upgraded that, or is there any need to upgrade really?
Well, personally, it's a trip. I put out stuff different ways depending on, if I'm doing stuff with Hieroglyphics, we have our way of putting stuff out in our deals with whatever distributor. But as a solo artist, and with Souls of Mischief as well, like we bounce around situations just because we can do that. But with me personally as a solo artist, I use Level Distribution. I use Empire. I use DistroKid for different shit, and they all pretty much do the same thing. They all pretty much do the same thing, at least for what I'm doing. And because I work with different artists, and they have their different preferences of how they want it to, what distributor we want to use. But yeah, I mean, I use these same distributors too, and they all do the same thing fundamentally. They get your product out to all of these different platforms, and now it's like it used to be getting that out to the stores. Now it's just like getting it to the streaming platforms.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what the new distributor does. So I utilize the same thing as far as the recording process. Recently, just to be honest, I've been going into, like, I haven't been recording a lot of the stuff I've been doing at home. I've been going to another studio just for that aesthetic. Just being in there, writing while I'm in there, laying it there and mixing there and all of that stuff. just trying to get back to how I used to. It's more fun for me that way. I mean, I make music at home too, and I make beats, and I like that as well. But I'm just at the point in my life to where I like shit varied. So for certain projects to get a certain sound and to have a certain vibe, I'm gonna do it that way. If I'm doing something more experimental, I'd sit at my house in my room and do that.
I got you.
I just try to take it how it comes, ride with the ether of it.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. That makes sense a lot.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Crave, you have a question?
How often do you think
while I'm on here, right?
Oh,
Absolutely. You good to go.
Are you good?
What you
Okay,
mean?
cool.
Can
Yes, I didn't mean to interrupt you, brother. Yeah, my bad.
Are you good? You good? How often do you think that artists should put out music?
Well, that's a good question. Me personally, I think I'm like go all in, man. Put out as much as you can, as much as you want. Is how I'm looking at it. Like for instance, I put 2 albums out this year already, and I'm mixing another one that's gonna drop on Halloween, and might even drop another one on Christmas Eve. But that's just. It's kind of circumstantial for me.
I'm laughing because Astro's, he's thumbing you up. He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Like every month for me, sometimes twice a month.
Wait, say that last one again?
That's working right there.
I'll be dropping like a beat tape, like 5 beats, 10 beats, like once a month at least, sometimes twice a month.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it. I mean, especially if you're coming from an independent perspective and you're not dealing with huge sums of funding. Like the best way to just generate awareness is to have content out there. And to me, I don't think you could overdo. I don't think you could overdo that. I know people who have who have just grinded for mad years and put out beats after beats and hella beat packs and this and that, and then certain people don't understand the traction they're gaining, and then one day somebody a beat gets in the hands of somebody, and it just shoots a motherfucker off out there. And the only way that happens to anyone is if they're present. If you got to make yourself present, and beat makers and musicians make themselves present by having music out. It's not to say that I'm just saying I'm an advocate for artists putting their shit out at their own speed. I think personally, at this time in the music industry, a lot of old heads like myself haven't quite assimilated, or not, I want to say assimilated, haven't acclimated to the speed of how music comes out, but they're still trying to do popular music. Right. Now, if you're doing niche music and you have your own audience, and you're marketing to a direct, specific kind of crowd, well, that timing is a little bit different. But if you're out here trying to keep up with these youngsters, you can't be putting out an album every 3 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna. And not only that, the fans of music are moving faster too. So a fan may really be fucking with you on an album and might forget about you after a year or two if you don't. Because things move so fast now, you're not buying records from stores. They're not physical things that you sit on and you kind of put in to apply or do some kind of physical. It's not an experience in that way anymore. It's just like a click of a fucking button. And there's so many songs that and albums that come out, you could get lost in the sauce if you don't keep yourself in people's psyche. So, and this is just my opinion, and it certainly shouldn't be like this for every artist because everybody has different circumstances. But me personally, I'm just trying to get it out there because even being from a group that, is noteworthy or whatever, I still as a solo artist, man, motherfuckers is I'm not getting the instant look if it's a Souls of Mischief record or a Hieroglyphics record, and that's just the fact that I'm not saying people ain't fucking with it. I'm just saying those are bigger attractions to a listener.
Yeah. I get what you mean.
Just in their psyche. So as a solo artist, I decided at the end of last year, I was like, man, I'm just gonna put out as many albums as I can make. This next year, I figured I was gonna stop at 4. I didn't want to do more than 4 and just have some juice for the next year. But then COVID happened, so it kind of slowed shit down. But to answer the question, I say put that shit out, man. Shit only happens to people when they're present. The opportunity only comes to somebody who makes themselves present. You can have 100 beats And if you got them sitting in your house at home and ain't let nobody hear them, you gonna have 100 beats still that nobody heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate of artists using all of these avenues without the gatekeepers around to get themselves out there. You never know when something just clicked. You never know when somebody, just some big star stumbles on your song and was like, I really like this, and plays this shit, and now you large. You never know in this world. And that will only happen to somebody who makes himself present by releasing music.
You know what? Plus,
it's my humble opinion, of course.
I agree, because I'm at that pivotal. What did you say, Chris?
I say he just stepped on my toes. I got beats that just sitting on. I'm trying to hold them for certain people, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm holding stuff for certain people.
You know what? I used to do that, bro. And you, in about 5 or 10 years, you gonna have them same beats, hell of them. They just gonna be sitting there. I started getting to the point to where I'm gonna stop holding shit and lean on the belief that I can make another dope one. And so if somebody say they're gonna get this one, or they're gonna use it, or they haven't, or if they say they're gonna pay for this shit and they don't have it, or if you gave it to them and they didn't use it and they said they're gonna use it and they don't, I say just do what you will with it, bro, and just lean on the faith in yourself that ain't the last dope beat you gonna make for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying? But I say this because I used to do the same shit, and I used to get mad as hell when I'm sitting with like 50 beats holding for these motherfuckers, man. And I'm like, what that shit? I'm out. As a matter of fact, I got a story about that. We was I'm from this group called Hieroglyphics. We were supposed to be working on a Hyro album. So a couple of members came to me and they were like, yo, get your beat vault up. Just make as many as you can. We're going to work on this album. We want to pick out the dopest shit for it. Just don't be giving none away. Just hold the shit. And I was like, okay. I hit the shit hard, man. I got juice. I must have made like, I want to say like about, I don't know, in a certain amount of time, I made like 40 beats. The ones I finished that I thought was dope. And so I kept trying to give them, I kept sending them to motherfuckers in the click, and there wasn't, I don't even think people was really listening to them, because I would play them at different times and people would be like, oh, that's dope. Where's this from? I'm like, man, I done sent this to you 5 times. But
yo, facts, bro.
Yeah, I know y'all know the feeling. Yeah, so after a while, I was just like, man, I'm just gonna make some more beats because I'm tired of sitting on these beats. I want to do something with them. So I started sending them out to people, just like rappers I do. I sent one out to Sunspot Jones from Living Legends, and I told every rapper, like, just make 5 songs, let's do a project together. Pick 5, and I'll knock them off the list. This motherfucker sent me 20 beats, 20 songs back. You know what I'm saying? Literally sent me 20 songs. Done. All the way done. And I was just like, okay, well, if you want to make some more songs, let's do that. He made 20 more songs.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So all them beats was gone. And so that's when I realized, man, I just need to, when I'm not holding no shit for nobody. I'm just going to let them go and trust in myself that I can make some more and not get married to situations with beats, man. Especially, I'm in my 40s, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't like a 17-year-old dude that's like, I could wait a little bit on somebody taking their time. And at this point, I would just get any beats I could get rid of, man. I would just get rid of them and just make some more. The more stuff you got out there, statistically, there's more of a chance of getting some traction somehow. So I'm like, shove that shit out. But if you don't, you're gonna have hella beats that's like kind of just missed their mark. You know, some beats live longer, right? But some beats is like, oh, that needed to come out then. And 5 years later, homie is just like, I don't even rap no more or whatever the fuck, you know. You know what? Don't short yourself.
Plus, I'm gonna say
what's up, brother?
I'm glad you gave that advice, because I'm one of the ones that's sitting on beats and being stubborn in my old school ways. And man, I'm gonna just wait on this and that. But after hearing what you had to say, it's like, yeah, let me stop being stubborn. I'm gonna go ahead and do it, because I feel like this is the one. But you saying if you have the one, you can have another one and another one.
Exactly.
Another one. Right.
Yeah. Either that or have people that let you down or not have the same drive or whatever. Yeah. I mean, I'm not talking about nobody in specific. There's a million different reasons, but you'll be the producer sitting or the artist is sitting on these songs. Man, I know rappers who got like dope albums, man, and just ain't pulled the trigger on them for whatever reason. And it's 10 years later and they still got the album. I mean, it's crazy. I'm saying, like, life is fleeting. This industry is changing all the time, hella fast. I say, if you're an artist, get it out there, man. I would only say it different if it was like a structured situation where you're working with budgets and timelines and promotions and sponsors and shit. Well, that's a whole nother world. But if you're doing some independent type stuff like grassroots, whatever style of hip hop you make, I say the more the better. Dude, I know whack people with high output who are making it move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and the only thing they doing is putting out hella shit. Imagine if you put out hella dope shit. You know what I'm saying?
You kill the game. You destroy the earth. Right, I got you.
All right, Plus, what do you got? What do you got out right now? What do you got right now? And how do people find that?
There we go.
I got two albums I put out this year. The artist is Aplus and the Architect, because my homie Architect, a friend of mine, made all the beats, and you can find them on any streaming platform. The one I put out in February is called Free Dope, and the one I put out in July is called Chamber Games.
See,
and the one that comes out on Halloween, the one that comes out on Halloween is gonna be called Black Switzerland.
Okay.
And the one that comes out Christmas Eve is gonna be called Christmas Eve. It's a working title. Don't.
Black Switzerland. Where you get Black Switzerland from? What's the meaning behind that? I'm curious.
Well, Switzerland is kind of like. I've been there a couple times. It's really actually hella beautiful. But what it's most known for is it stays out of everybody's conflicts traditionally, like all the rest of the world conflicts. It plays as a neutral ground for world affairs, and world law and world economy, like the banking system and all of that shit. And basically, they cool with everybody. They're just like we ain't in that shit. We cool. And so I just put Black Switzerland on it not to be like you want to be from Switzerland or I'm like a black man from Switzerland, but like we ain't into drama or nothing. We just trying to be out here about what we're doing and live and let live type shit. And that's really where the concept came from. It's like there's so much shit going on in the world, man. And I'm not saying I'm not in those struggles in the world. It's not a political statement. It's more of on a life thing. It's just like, man, I just ain't with the fuck shit right now on any level. And if you cool over there, I'm cool over here. If you want to visit nicely, you welcome. You know.
And the Christmas one, what's the Christmas one gonna be called again?
Right now it's called Christmas Eve, but I don't know if that's what it's gonna be really called. But it's coming out on Christmas Eve, so that's just what we're calling it now. But the first two is Free Dope. The first one is Free Dope. The second one is Chamber Games.
Chamber Games.
And and both of those are on any streaming platform.
I saw. I think I listened to a couple tracks and saw the video that looked like he was doing the Star Trek thing on YouTube.
Oh yeah, that was from Free Dope.
I like that, man.
That was a
nice.
That was a fun video.
Yeah. Where y'all?
Hey, what's crazy about that?
Go ahead.
What's crazy about that video, bro, is that there's this dude who lives in San Francisco where he built a room. That's a room in his house.
You're kidding.
And that Star Trek room, they built that room in the house, and he had those outfits too, and he had the Spock ears and everything. And not only that, bro, he had a Batmobile in the garage. It was just some crazy shit. It's crazy.
Hey, that's amazing. I was saying, to me, that's the freedom of being independent. You find out that stuff. Like you're able to just run with that vibe.
Yeah, I mean, can't nobody tell you nothing when you're independent. And another thing too is that when anything goes wrong, you are wholly accountable. There's nobody else to blame about shit. So you were like hands on in the troubleshooting and the fixing of things and the tweaking. So yeah, when you're independent, all the work is on you, all the blame is on you, but the satisfaction aspect of it is just that you don't got a hell of hands in your pockets. You don't got nobody telling you about the sound of your music at all. And usually there's probably less bullshit people around because they don't think you're moving like that. They used to the glitter and glamour and light. So you might have, it's not to say there won't be no haters around because they're everywhere, but it's less likely to have people like that around when they don't think it's like advantageous for whatever their ego.
Oh yeah.
So, it's a dope fit, you know.
That happened to me, man. When I start charging for my beats, I realized how many friends I really had. My number.
Oh man! hey, but you that dude when you handing them out, huh?
Hell yeah, I was the man.
Oh my goodness! Oh, that one I can get. Oh, yeah. As soon soon as you start getting paid for your work, like you're supposed to be a free beat machine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like press button, get beat. You know what I mean?
How you feel about these dudes giving out beats for like $5, $10, $20? Do you feel like that they grinding, or they trying to get attention, or they value in their work to try to get attention?
I think it's both of those. I think I mean, see, I personally, I'm not with that. I'm not against other people doing it. I have my own, my reason is for what you said. It's about devaluing yourself, because I know people who get trapped in that and can't really, I know people who like, everybody wanted a beat for 25, and then when he started charging more, did nobody want that no more, because they were so used to getting that 25 from. But at the same time, I know about people who've blown up that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those situations. I think what I like to do more is like, I don't know. It's hard to say whether that's right or wrong, because it really certainly does devalue you, but it can work for people. The way I would suggest to people is just like, find dope artists to produce for that have the kind of passion that you have for your shit. And so the energy that you're putting into it, they're also putting into it. So it's that much more manpower in the process of getting that music out when you're dealing with somebody who has the same passion as you. Okay, that's hard to find a lot. And also sometimes the passion don't match the skill. I get it. But, I mean, to each his own, really. I think it's really hard to get what you're worth when you start shooting low. I believe that. Because it's just like, it's just like in any negotiation, you know what I'm saying? It's like, if you walk into a job and they was willing to give you 60 racks and they ask you, what do you think you should get? And you say 45, they're going to be like, you're hired.
Yeah, they're going to be like,
you know what I'm saying?
Off top. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I mean, that's a little bit much for us, but we'll stretch it for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, playing that game. Yeah, we know that corporate game. Hey, how you holding up?
Yeah.
This pandemic, man. How you holding up during the pandemic, being the artist that was on tour all the time?
Man, I'll tell you what, the artist musician life, pandemic hit that whole job super hard. Like, if you was making bread off of this, you stop making a large percentage of that after this pandemic. So like, hopefully, I had a tour planned for August, a solo tour. You know what I'm saying? Already planned out, and was having it routed in January and shit. So, and I had about like 3 or 4 solo shows that it was already booked that got canceled early. Also, Hyro After Dark, Hyro Day. Like, those are the two events that my people throw. So like, you see, me personally, I just started doing other shit. I still get my publishing checks and shit, and so that's when I just started going hard on making this music. I got like an IT job and shit. You know what I'm saying? I started
okay.
I started e-commerce. I started look at this shit, yo.
Ooh.
It's harvest time. It's harvest time. We fucking with that too. Yeah, I started an e-commerce business, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a funding for a podcast. I mean, I just had to start doing other shit, Right. Fortunately, I already had some shit cooking, but I'm saying, if you was somebody who was eating off of the physical rap money, like the touring and I'm a year-round performer, so it's like a large percent of my income just got wiped. So I just went hard on some other shit, bro.
Yeah, that's what I realized.
And I'm still making music though, just like at the same as if. And I'm working. I know that in the next phase of things, there's going to be a lot of viral performances. It's going to be the next thing. It's already happening now, and that's going to become more normalized as we get used to this pandemic, because this shit ain't going to change much sooner. It's not for gathering, not for large gatherings. We looking at 2022 probably. I mean, I know none of the tech companies are doing anything until the summer of 2021, and that's a tentative date. So when you see what the tech companies are doing generally, you can kind of see how the world's going to kind of follow with that shit. It's a trip, but it can be done, man. Just gotta get on your grind and shit, and you know, I know some people that's hurting. I know some people that's not doing bad at all. This is everybody in between.
Yeah, we
But,
see how No, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nothing. Go ahead.
No, you good. You good.
I
wasn't gonna say shit.
Okay, we seeing new shows pop up, like Fat Joe got a show. You just mentioned you got a podcast. Can you mention your podcast, or is it not time?
Yeah, I can mention mine. The trippiest thing is I've been working on my podcast for the past two years.
Okay.
It's around maybe 2.5. It's called the Agree to Disagree podcast, and it's with JR from the Block Report.
Oh, JR, I know JR. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's with me and him. We've been working on it for a while, and we finally got the funding for it. And it just so happened COVID hit. So we're in a kind of like pre-production, making trailers type shit, trying to iron out all the technical shit before we can have shit really lined up. But hey, man, my whole thing is that like there's something. Okay, after the fact, this COVID shit is fucked up, right? Yeah. But since it's happening, there's hella moves that could be made that probably wasn't makeable in the same fashion prior to this. And while the world has slowed down and is readjusting, and we don't really know how the dust settles yet, there's hella moves that people can make personally, in whether it's entertainment or whether it's school. You know, I took some school classes too, just like I'm sitting at home. You know what I mean?
You're right.
There's all kind of moves that could be made that are going to be advantageous when shit starts to have some normalcy. And I always encourage anybody I know, like, man, don't be sitting around waiting for this shit to pan out. Do some shit. What's some moves right now? Because that shit is going to soften the people landing when shit gets back to a little bit of normalcy. There's a lot of people sleeping on the job right now, and shit, that's just somebody to pass up. Feel me? I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean real life, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Take advantage of the opportunity that you're being presented right now. Everybody all gathered together. Absolutely. Everybody online. More eyes on you. Get the eyes on you, and then you potentially can get that exposure to blow up. That's where I'll be seeing it.
Exactly. Do you know how many like funds they got right now to jumpstart like minority businesses? How many grants and shit? More than ever, bro. Like more than ever I've seen in my lifetime. Motherfuckers need to do some research, get a grant writer. Man, I secured me some racks, bro. And I'm not even a grant writer.
Event, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
Bro, people there's shit out here, man. And with everybody adjusting to, it's like also in the e-commerce business, bro. I'm saying people are spending because of COVID. All right, e-commerce was already growing. Hell, it was one of the biggest growing businesses in the world because of technology and shopping from home and all of that shit.
Yeah,
right. Absolutely.
So what was I gonna say? So, but like now with the shelter in place shit, people who normally didn't get into e-commerce and shopping online are now doing that out of necessity, and it's becoming regular for their psyche to gravitate towards buying things online. Therefore, online shopping is up exponentially, and it's not gonna. A lot of people are now. It's in their psyche. Now they're gonna be more regular with it, and the amount of people shopping online is constantly growing. Mm-hmm. It seems like it's oversaturated, but it's fucking not, bro. Like I hopped right into it and was like, wow. You know what I'm saying? More people than ever are buying their shit online. You know, and again, it may seem oversaturated, but it's not, man. And again, that's another one of them things that people try to keep people out of. Like, hey, this is my thing. But I'm telling you, it's just one of them things you could do sitting right at home. Don't even gotta leave.
You know, that's great. No, go ahead, Astro.
Oh, so we got Black Friday coming up, right?
Yeah.
But Black Friday ain't gonna be the same like it used to. So Cyber Monday is gonna be hella big.
Yeah.
Hella big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's
real spill.
That's true.
It's real, man. And all of these things are things that people can do. I mean, of course, you know, you gotta like, shit ain't free. You kind of have some startups cash for any kind of business, right? But I mean, doesn't take a whole lot. And these are all these little small things that people can do in these times to supplement their income, and who knows, can grow into bigger shit. I don't know, you know, but I just say go just take positive advantage of these opportunities that are out here in such a fucked up time. I say this is the best time to do it when things are at the worst. Shit, all these opportunities out here, man, and I'm not saying this world is overrun with opportunities. I'm just saying there are opportunities that have been created by this pandemic that we can take advantage of. It's unfortunate, but there are things we could do.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. Like I'm helping Simone Niere. She's a local artist, like painting, and she is all of a sudden blowing up. People just buying her original work. She's in the art gallery coming up. I'm watching it all happen. She started an online store because people kept saying you need to have prints, and it's just order after order. I'm like, okay, so this is real. Like
that's another thing is that like people are understanding like that because everybody's going through shit. So people are understanding. Artists are going through it dummy hard, and people who can are supporting more than normal. You know what I'm saying? I be having people on like. So what I do with my records is I put them out like for a month on Bandcamp, just for my Bandcamp people or whatever, and I put it a month later. I put it out on all platforms. But I be having people hitting me up. It costs this much, and motherfuckers will put like 20 extra bucks just because they also like want to support the artist shit. You know what I'm saying? When it's just crazy, bro. It's a trip. It's a trip. Plus, and people, what's up?
What'd you say, Astro?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Do you have a Patreon? Do you have a Patreon so like they can like donate to you like on a monthly level and like?
Yeah, exactly. Like that Patreon is cracking, bro. Like like if you can appeal to your audience and be like, man, I'm doing this, it's hard out here. But people are, dude, I know, like people like Merce and people like that, dude. I'm saying people empathize with artists that are now not struggling, but are dealing with a different level of adversity because performance art requires being able to be around people. I mean, people are down to support people that they respected before or people that they didn't know about before. It's a different time, and that kind of circles back into what we were saying earlier about just having as much stuff out as you can. Like that artist you're talking about, you just never know when it's gonna pop, and people are really more willing to support it now because everybody understands. There's a different level of empathy for shit right now.
Yeah, because it's all busy, so it was harder to pay attention. But now it seems like people slowing down, so more attention is being paid.
Exactly.
So it might be, like the pandemic has been a bad thing, but it's been a good thing for people too. Like that is crazy, bro. Because I say the same shit. I'm like, I done made like serious changes and advancements and busted moves that because of this horribly fucked up and unfortunate situation that I feel good about. I feel good about the moves I've been able to bust and the personal shit I've been able to either deal with or conquer or augment or change. I mean, this is like, this shit is forcing people hands on shit. It's making you have to deal with shit. And as fucked up as it is, and all these people dead, I got family members that died from this shit. But all that said, bro, I'm really happy with what I'm doing. And that's not to say I'm out here chilling, bro. This is rough. You know what I mean? For everybody. But I'm personally like taking full advantage of this, whatever it is, this bullshit, and just trying to make like serious life-changing moves. And I'm not sure any of us would be operating under this level of urgency if it wasn't for this fuck shit. I don't know, Yeah. So it's kind of weird to say that, like, because it's certainly not placating anyone's pain or suffering because this shit is fucked up. But that said, man, bust some moves,
Yeah, you kind of have no choice at this point.
That's real. Anybody? I don't want to hold you up too long, unless you're chilling.
I can talk for a little bit because first of all, I enjoy talking to y'all, and just taking a little break from work anyway.
Okay.
So I can chill for a minute.
Anybody got any questions? Go ahead.
I wanted to say something. I'm not really I wasn't really familiar with a lot of your music. I've heard some of your music. I didn't know it was you. Because I'm young. I'm 30. So I was born in 1990. So I was really, really young. So
You was 3 when my first album came out.
Right. He was.
Yeah.
93 till I was born in 89, bro. So I'm right there.
Yeah.
like when I was listening to your music, and I was like, man, I said I hear Kendrick. I hear Kendrick like copied you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Or he was inspired by you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, to be honest, like we've been around so long that like, kind of how when we came in the game and things changed, we influenced a lot of people that ended up being super big. Like most people admit it. Like fools like like Outkast or like Eminem and cats like that have fully said like, oh man, dude, we were the biggest fans of yours, and we used to fuck with your style and shit. It's not hard pressed to think that would to hear what you said. He's actually dapped us up with the TDE fools fuck with us. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh yeah, they fuck with Hyro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he sat around and actually listened to any if Kendrick did listen to any hieroglyphics. I'm pretty sure he may have, because he's a real hip hop head dude. But I don't know that for sure. But I mean, it's hard pressed to not think like somebody spitting like that from California didn't somehow get influenced by Hyro or Souls. But I don't know that to be 100% true. But I would put money on that, and I take that as an honor, actually.
And another dude is Joey Badass. I like.
I mean, Joey Badass fucks with us. He got a song called 95 Till. You know what I'm saying?
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, he fuck with we fuck with Pro Era and all them boys. So, yeah, they definitely fuck with us. It's like I look at it like it's generational. Like we on each other's shoulders. Like they doing the kind of shit that was kind of can be interpreted in a similar way as how we were different when we were out, just on some different shit. And I just think we're links in the chain. We on each other's shoulders, just like there's I'm inspired by. And then when I meet them, I say it. Like there's all kind of rappers that like a lot of the younger cats may not even heard of. You know what I'm saying? Like when I meet them, I be like, yo, like you know what I'm saying? So I think when it comes to hip hop, it's been around long enough to where we have generations of it now. Like when my generation is the last generation to remember when there was no hip hop. You know what I'm saying? There was a time in my life when it didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? And since then, every generation has lived with it and grown with it. That's true. And I just think we're linked in the chain. I look at like for instance, Kendrick Lamar is also a part of the. I don't know if y'all. I don't know if y'all seen this before. I know Aussie has seen it before, but they had this NWA lineage graph.
Yeah.
And it has NWA and all the groups that have came out from them. It's like a NWA family tree. It's online and shit. Yeah, and we're in that family tree because Ice Cube, that's Dale's cousin, and blah blah blah. Uh-huh. And Kendrick is on that family tree as well. So we're definitely thank you. We're definitely like in the lineage of West Coast hip hop. We be in the same tree.
Plus.
And he's one of my favorite rappers. I love that dude.
Plus, it's highly likely because I saw y'all the documentary, right? And I found out a little bit about Cube and Dale. They like actually family members, and how y'all
dude, man, I knew
travel and all that.
I knew Cube before he was Cube, dude. That's Dale's cousin for real. Like they used to play with He-Man figures and shit.
So you knew Cube when he was just O'Shea.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wow.
No, when Cube got a deal, because Cube is a real rap head, dude. He's been rapping forever, and him and Dale was always close. And he said when he came out with this single, and he was in a group called CIA right before NWA, and when that came out, I was in like the 7th grade, and I was like, damn, O'Shea came out with a single. Like back then, hip hop was different. If you seen somebody come out with a single, you're like, oh my God, you know what I mean? It's not like how it is now. And and Cube was like, that's when we started being like, yo, we can really come out if Cube came out, you know? And just from there, shit just popped, man. Yeah. Cube said if he ever got a deal, he was gonna help Dale get one. and Dale said if he ever got a deal, he was gonna help me get one. So
that's
how
Do you feel like that's missing from the industry nowadays with the new generations, or is it better?
What do you mean, like the help each other out shit?
Yeah, that. Yes. Because
I think it's more of like a self game. I don't think it's absent completely because there's still people who put people on, but I think I think it's not as prevalent as it has been in the past. The world is a lot more. I don't know. It's just a lot more selfish than I remember than I recall. Not like it hasn't always been, but it's just like way more for self dolo shit. That I noticed at this point in my life. But I wouldn't say that it's completely absent of that. They still got cliques and crews and shit like that. It's so much more a personal experience because you could do everything in your laptop now. You can get shit done without even having to talk to anybody. And so a lot of people are like, man, I'm gonna get my shit done, and it ends up being a self mission. And another thing I noticed too is that like sometimes, people will only help you to a certain degree.
That's true.
If it seems like you might outshine them, or if you might pop a little bit more. I mean, there's only so much a person will share when they're trying to help because they still got this part mind shit. But I think that might just be human nature.
It is.
That just might be just human. That might,
I mean, me and you from the Bay Area, we know how it is out here. It's
yeah.
I'm not gonna say much about it. I'm gonna keep quiet, but
go ahead. Go just say what you want to say.
It's just it's just rough. It's just rough when you coming out. Yeah, when you come out and you're trying to like promote yourself, you might run into people that don't want to see that, and so they'll
Well,
for real.
They it's dog eat dog, and Bay Area don't get the shine that they supposed to get.
No way.
And they still they lane, and they still they style, and they don't get nobody says nothing. Nobody says thank you.
And you know what? There's something real crazy. And first of all, I agree. There's something real crazy about the Bay, is that motherfuckers come out here and get shit and cut with it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stuff is invented out here. It's like a real like kind of like forward thinking kind of place, I guess. I don't know. And it got a lot of slang and flavor and all kinds of crazy shit just over the years. And literally, rappers will come here from other places, be fascinated, love it. It's got the best weed, all the kind of shit. The chicks is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And they will take some shit back home and package that shit and be saying it in their accent or wherever they from. But it's been happening out here classically since the fucking 90s. So it's kind of one of them places that where no one ever, outside rappers never come unless they come for a show. You know what I'm saying? It's not one of the places that people just come to. And they come out here and be like, damn, this shit is a fool. The game is thick. All this shit. I'm taking me some shit home. And it's been famous for that, bro. Like, it just happens. Like, you'll hear a New York dude being like, yo, saying some word that he, you know, or you know, it's the same way how, what happened to the South, you know? But it happened to the West first. But it's the same thing where people get fascinated with the South, and now you got people from other places trying to sound Southish, but they're not from there. And it's weird, you know. But same shit, man.
Yeah, we talked about that not too long ago. It's like everybody sounds like they come out the South, and it's like, what is going on? I thought
they sound like they're from Atlanta, or they sound like from LA, or they sound like they're from Oakland, but they're from somewhere else.
No, they sound like a lot of them sound like they're from here now.
Why are you talking like that? Like, that's not what's going on. Like,
it don't match either. It's like wearing Fila and Nike.
No, like, I'm from New York, but no, I'm like, I take from everything. Being from New York, we take from
like wearing Fila and Nike.
It is like wearing Fila and Nike. You like, you feel?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, man.
Well, you got on Fila and Nike, bro. Don't do that.
Right. We're gonna tear you apart. We're just gonna tear you apart. Like, oh, look at bro.
Like
now you know what happened though. At one point in hip hop, I don't know exactly when, and it's probably debatable when, but at one point in hip hop, it was like you were from where you're from, and that's kind of how you portrayed yourself. Whether you was on this shit or whether you was on that shit, you just kind of just sounded like where you were from. And then at some point in hip hop, it got cool to sound like someplace that you weren't from. And it wasn't like that at first. And I couldn't tell you exactly when that happened, but it became acceptable.
In the 90s.
Like, I mean, a perfect example of that is Drake. And I'm not saying nothing bad about him, but if you hear him talk, like, and you can guarantee he didn't grow up around people who sounded like how he sounds on the record. Because I've been to Canada. Motherfuckers talk mad proper. That's just how and they might whoop your ass and everything. But they sound mad proper. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't a shot at Drake at all. This is just saying at some point in the music in the hip hop culture, it became acceptable to like kind of like do an accent from somewhere you wasn't from. And before it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of changed hip hop in a way to where, man, a motherfucker from way out there can sound like, you know, what's the homegirl name? Iggy Azalea. I was like, wow, this is acceptable? Like, because I've been to Australia too. No one sounds like that. I guarantee you.
Hey, bro, I had a roommate from Australia. Don't nobody sound like that. I never was into her. I was like, no, thank you.
The black people don't sound like that in Australia. You know what I'm saying? Much like the white girl, you know.
The kid Leroy, he's from Australia. He's like a Juice WRLD clone, but he's white. But he's from Australia, and he's like popping right now. And it's so weird because I didn't know he was from Australia. Yeah. And I was like, yo, what's going on?
I mean, it has really got to a point to where you don't have to sound like where you from. You can just like put it on, and if it sounds, if people like the sound of it, it don't really matter. And again, I'm not trying to sound like that old head who's just like, fuck it, I'm just being realistic. You know what I mean? At a point as hip hop was growing, a part of your whole get down was what you brought from where you were from. And that's what made your kind of hip hop unique. That's why somebody from the South, everybody else was fascinated from it because it's Southern culture shit, and we don't live there, so we living it through their shit. Right. Same thing with East Coast that jumped it off. It's like I used to watch Beat Street and couldn't wait to go to New York and shit and get a big bomber jacket with fur and shit. You know what I mean?
I can agree. I can relate to that. Yes.
So all of these cultural differences is what made all of these different kinds of hip hop unique. It just got so big that where now it don't matter where you're from. You could be from wherever and sound like you were from wherever, and that's just how it is now. You know, that's just a new development in the growth of hip hop. You know, personally, me, I mean, I'm too old school to do that. Like I'm pretty much gonna sound like how I sound because I'm from that. But it's just it's a new world. You know.
You know what? Plus, I could say it ain't even old head. It's you are who you are. You being yourself. You're not trying to be somebody else. Like me, I'm not about to come out and try to be nobody else. I'm just be me. Whatever that look like to the world is what it look like to the world. Mr. Watson, you had a question?
I agree.
Right.
So
hey, your girl in the background said something about she think it started in the 90s when people start mimicking each other. Did she?
Hey, Erica, was that you said in the 90s?
Yeah, she
said in the late 90s.
No,
she said.
Actually, I changed that to about 2006. That's when they started switching up.
Yeah, she said late 90s, but now she thought about it. She think more like 2006.
That's probably more. Yeah, let me think. 2000, when we started trying to, let me think.
The game was popping then.
Who was?
He said the game. I'm not even speaking on that one.
The game. He's a great example, right? That's a perfect example, bro. Oh man, like man, he got a song to where he sound like this person, where he sound like that person.
Oh man,
you but and of course I ain't dissing him either. I'm just speaking facts, right? But if you look at how he started rapping, like he didn't rap before he got shot up and was laying in the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So he learned to rap by listening to whatever was hot, and he developed a skill for rapping and sounding like whoever he needed to sound like.
He's a dope artist. He's a dope artist. You're right.
He can rap. He can rap, but I'll be looking at him like he's like one of them. And I don't want to sound like I'm dissing him because I'm not. I've bought a few of his records actually, and I think he can rap and all of that shit. But I'm I'm an older school rapper. Like to me, he like is a like what really be killing me is that he didn't had a couple songs to where I thought it was Nas, and I was like, I ain't heard this Nas song, and they was like, oh, that's Gangsta doing he's doing this Nas. You know how that game does his Nas and shit.
Yeah, I think what he do out of respect. I think he's showing respect to the artist. That's how I take that.
I definitely believe that too. I don't think he's biting or nothing, but I'm just saying that's how that's. I think he's paying homage actually, and again, I don't mean no diss fighters, but I'm saying that is a new development in hip hop. I mean, it wasn't cool to do that at a certain point. That became acceptable as hip hop evolved.
Because they would call you a biter.
And I mean, yeah. Fools used to call you a biter if you did that back in the day.
Yes.
But now you have dudes that are using the exact same style. They're just like adding one little to it or something. And like to me, I listen to modern music just because I want to keep my finger on the pulse. And I got a 19-year-old son too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to all the shit he's listening to. But it's a trip like how similar people sound.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like I don't know. I don't know how to say this without sounding like a fogey. You know what I mean? But it's like mad similarities, and I guess the tools that cats is using skill wise, people using a lot of the same tools. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying nobody's pushing the boundary. I'm just saying just minor changes because like you can play like hella songs back to back, and they're pretty much like very similar, eerily similar. And that might be just the wave of the youth generation at this time, and I'm all for it if that's what they're doing. But it's just my observation.
Let me ask you this: you remember when record labels used to do that? Be like, okay, we like this one song, that make 10 of the same song. I heard that was the thing that was in the industry. Is that true?
Oh, let me tell you. Oh, I can tell you firsthand experience of that shit as well.
Yeah.
That shit is real. I was when Souls and Mischief, right before we left Jive Records. This is why we left. We put out the first record. It did well. They was like happy with the shit. Blah 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 blah. They was ready to do the next record. But for the next record, they pulled us in the office and they said, we're changing our whole get down as a label, and we're getting rid of most of our rap shit. We're keeping a few rappers, and we're keeping our R&B, and we just signed Britney Spears and NSYNC and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, we love y'all, but we're gonna need y'all to do a different style of music. We need y'all to do music like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince in that song Boom Boom Shake the Room with the shiny suits and the dancing and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? And this is right after we just dropped 93 Till, which is like just straight up boom bap hip hop shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we were like, hell no. First of all, I don't know if y'all ever, like Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, they used to do like real, like straight up traditional hip hop in the 80s, and they got turned into more of a pop group in the 90s. And then now he's a movie star, you know what I'm saying? So, like, the story from there.
I've been listening
to this was at the moment when, man, remember Boom Boom Shake the Room?
Yes.
Was when they started dancing in the shiny suits and shit.
Yeah, man.
And he was just clearly doing pop music now. That's what the record label used as an example as what they wanted us to sound like. And we were like, no. And they were like, if you don't do that, they were like, if you don't do that, we're going to just shelve your album and end your careers. And we were like, nah. And that's why we made our second album, which sounded like No Man's Land. It sounded completely it didn't sound nothing like 93 Till, and it sounded the exact opposite of what they wanted from us. And it still sold well, but they tried to shelve us and everything and wouldn't let us off the label for like a year, simply because we didn't completely change our style to turn into like a pop group wearing shiny suits and shit. It was crazy, bro. And they were like, I couldn't believe that they were looking at us with a straight face at that business table in the label. Like, and I was like, no, you got to be kidding. And they were like, we dead ass.
Yeah.
Dead ass.
It's like a similar story. I don't know if you've seen the Wu-Tang American Saga on Hulu.
Oh, I love that shit. I love it.
They did the same thing to RZA when they wanted him to...
Oh, yeah. Dude, they did it to... Dude, they did it. Listen, bro, I remember when that happened to them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, dude, if you ever heard the GZA first album, like before Wu-Tang, the whole shit was fire except for that "Try to Do Me" R&B song, bud. And that song is what tanked that album because the rest of the album was fire. And RZA never even got to come out with a whole album because of that whack ass single, that "Ooh We Love You Raheem" shit. I remember that shit, bro. Because we met Wu-Tang, before they got big because the person who signed us to Jive, Sophia Chang, was also trying to sign Wu-Tang to Jive. So we ended up meeting them back then, and I was like, oh God, that's Prince Rakeem from "Oh I Love You Rakeem" and shit, bro. And I just couldn't believe that they sound was so gutter like that. But then the story tells you, like the record label would just dress you up on some Tyler Perry, bro. Like straight up, crazy.
Tyler Perry.
You're crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they really.
Yeah, I was just saying that before you got on, that like with certain people, when you were saying the Britney Spears and they were trying to push them, right? And there's always that guy on the label that kind of gets shelved or gets put to the side and doesn't get to put his music out, or they don't put the money behind him, like a Big Crit when he was on Def Jam, or
we was talking about
when he was on MMG. Or Sally when he was on MMG. They put all their money behind Rick Ross, and they put all their money behind Meek Mill. And even Wale, but they got.
I was going to say Wale also got. Wale got left out of that too.
That happens with every label.
Bro, like that's straight up label business. They do that shit, bro. Like as far as Crit, he's a perfect example of that shit. Because I mean. Crit is ridiculous to me. He's one of my favorite dudes from that time that's still around.
Same.
Absolute fire. I be fucking with him from Currency and shit, and like shit like that. But they did like and it's a trip. You don't talk about it much, but Wale be talking about that shit. You know what I'm saying?
He be on Twitter Wale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm telling you, like all of the newer independent labels, they learn how to operate from the big labels, bro. So. Like the game is only starting to change slightly now. I mean, it started to change when more people started going independent and figuring out that you could make a lot of money doing that, even though you might not be on MTV every day or whatever. But as soon as file sharing happened, bro, that shit was dead. That form of doing it was dead, and I don't know, man. So all the new labels that learn how to do the streaming shit, they just like offshoots of the same label system, but now under the streaming system. So like, it don't surprise me at all that the same shit be happening. Because I mean, Crit could be as large as anybody, bro, for real. And he's and I'm not to downplay him at all. He definitely is ringing, but I mean, he to me he could be a bigger, he should be a bigger artist from the label.
It's funny you mentioned that because I asked the guys earlier before you came on. What do you like about the independent music scene versus mainstream? And it seems like they're slowly meshing together. Because you'll find people, for example, Tech Nine. Tech Nine is underground independent, but he's major. But he's not.
Yeah. See, the thing about Tech Nine is that he been at it so long, and he built up a super huge core audience in the Midwest, while the record labels and the music industry wasn't even tripping. But I used to travel and go through there, bud, and he'd be headlining over people that you'd hear on the radio out there because he's bigger out there.
Yeah.
And people didn't really understand that. The thing that's dope about him is that he was able to transition. He already had his full shit up and running on the independent hand-to-hand, like physical copy shit. So it wasn't nothing for him to go right over into streaming. Like, he's like a good example of exactly how to do it without needing no fucking major, for real. Like, I mean, he had the
Hieroglyphics is too though. Hyro is too though. Y'all an example how to do it. We definitely got a blueprint. I mean, like we were what they say what's that phrase? When fortune meets preparedness. Oh wait, luck is when opportunity meets preparation or some shit. Yep.
Like one thing about Hyro is that we was always like grinding and ready to do our shit. and just relentless with it, and it really just took some, also just being right place, right time shit happening. Like we were super early on the internet. Like when we left our major labels, we were literally the first artists ever selling music on the internet. It just wasn't a thing yet. This was like 95. People didn't only nerds had the internet in colleges and shit. Like there was no AOL or none of that shit. And we were just fortunate that all of that happened at that time. And and we was able to make good on the independent run and the touring shit. And I don't know, man. We was just doing. It wasn't no grandmaster plan or nothing. It's just like things kind of just loped up for us, you know. But I'm definitely thankful, bud, and we still trying to continue building our legacy and all of that. And it's a funny ass ride, bro. It's just, the record business is some trippy ass shit, but I love it though.
That's real.
But we got on some shit real early, and I think that's what really helped us out. It's just the timing of it all for us. Like once you get in on the ground floor on something, it was like a lot of shit happened all at once. Like the snowboarders was hella into the music we was making on the underground. They were changing from like super rocky type shit to underground hip hop. That was happening at that time. The skateboarders too, the independent movement, the concept of being able to buy money on the internet. I mean, people would pay us and we would send it to them. You couldn't even send files yet, you know. All of these things all kind of happened at the same time for us. And we were able to just take advantage after just coming off of major labels with good audiences. We didn't leave major labels because we didn't do well. We left because we had beef with the labels. So we were able to capitalize on that audience that the major label helped us generate right at the time. It was just like really good, like, you know, like lightning in a bottle shit. So I always give thanks for the whole joint.
For sure. One real quick, and then we're gonna end this interview with you.
All right.
How can people reach you again? What you got going on? Who are you? Let's just do a recap on that right there.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? I'm Aplus from the mighty Hieroglyphics crew, Souls of Mischief crew, also known as Black Adam. You can check me out on any social media. I'm Hiero Aplus. That's Hiero Aplus, or just look up Aplus. I'm probably gonna pop up. Check out some music I got out now. Put out a record, Free Dope, this year. Check it out. Also put out an album, Chamber Games. Check that out. I'll put that out in July. The other one in February. And I got a new album coming out on Halloween called Black Switzerland. It's Aplus and the Architect. Just me on the raps, Architect on the beats. We just going in, just doing just b-boy shit, like just real, you know, real person shit. Like I'm not trying to go and eat a bunch of MCs and shit and prove I'm the dopest anymore. Like that's what I used to do, man. I'm not 19 no more. You know what I'm saying? Although I still will bust some bars on a nigga to let them know what time it is. But all that being said, please check out any of that music. Also check out Hieroglyphics, Souls of Mischief, and everybody be well. Take care of each other and much love at all times. Same way.
For sure. Hey, one thing I want to say. Plus, I watched you a couple years ago. You did a show out in Frisco. It was you and Unknown or something like that. Nobody. There we go. Nobody. You gave a great performance, man. You made it seem like it was nothing, like you was just chilling. So what advice would you give to artists in reference to performing? And I'm going to end it on that note, because you made it seem effortless.
Okay. That's an ironic question, being that, like, well, I guess not, because we're going to start having these video performances. Right. So I was like, man, them face-to-face performances, I can't wait till they come back. That said, the advice I would give is, as a performer, first of all, man, practice. Practice.
Thank you.
Right. Don't Iverson shit. Practice. You need to practice. Get practice. Talking about practice. Yeah, nigga, practice. And get them. Have a mirror, like some way to, and record yourself. Like, dude, like, cause you gotta see, like, you never know exactly how you look until you record yourself, and it's gonna be nuances that you may not like about your movements that are just a part of a normal movement you make that you're not aware of. I would say, like, practice and watch yourself. And when it comes to actually getting on stage, embrace the jitters and the butterflies. Like, embrace that shit. To this day, I get fucking butterflies and funny tummy and shit when I'm about to hit the stage. Might have to fart or something, you know what I'm saying? But it just embrace that shit because it goes away as soon as you hit the stage. And I'll tell you, I've been performing like professionally since 1991 and even longer than that since I was a kid. And every single performance, I get the shit. It's nothing wrong with that. It's your body being like, this is real. But let the magic and the people take you over once you get out there. And yeah, man, do you. Don't let nobody tell you no if you really feel it in your gut. If you unsure, take advice, man. But if you feel it in your gut, do your thing.
All right.
Fuck what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because you do, you know. Yeah, do your thing. And best of luck. And just work, man. Just work. Put in your hours. Shit just starts to happen when you put one foot forward. Shit you can't see is there now. So, you know, take advantage. Do your thing.
For sure. I appreciate you, man, for coming to WSIM Radio. We support the indie market radio.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, man. I apologize for I was supposed to come last week, man, and we had a caterpillar attack and the ashes on the crop, and I just kind of got took out away from my phone out the zone. By the time I realized I missed you, I was like, fuck, bro. So thank you for having the good grace to let me come back on this week. I appreciate you.
It's all good. You got to protect them crops, bro. We in Cali.
You do.
That.
Yeah, you do.
It's that time, baby. It's that time. You already know.
Yeah. Hopefully we can have you back soon. Y'all got anything else to say?
Anytime, brother.
No, man, it's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure. I've been listening since 93 at least. So yeah, man. I appreciate it.
I can't hear.
Am I muted?
Somebody saying something?
Yeah. You didn't hear him?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
How do I turn the speaker?
Hold on, he didn't hear it.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I gotta just put it up to my headphones. I guess my Bluetooth speakers ran out. Say it one more time, brother.
Okay, say it again, Mr. Watson.
Oh no, I was just saying I've been listening since 93 till, man. This is really an honor. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. And I know it sounds corny and cliche, but like I'm only here because people fuck with us like that. So thank you, and I appreciate it fully.
For sure.
And Crave, Mr. Youngster. Crave, you got something to say before I end this?
I was gonna say I appreciate you doing this with us, man.
It's my honor, man, and I'm down to come by anytime, man. I had a good time, man. Y'all good brothers, man. Good talk, man, cool. And everybody said real positive, man. I appreciate it.
All right, y'all. I appreciate you. Plus, we'll talk soon, man.
No doubt. Thank you all. See you, man.
Yeah, I'm hit you up on Twitter.
No
yeah, here we go, man. Hit me up and put something in the note so I know it's you and it's not like you know.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like I was on the show.
Yeah. I got you.
All right, good fellas. Y'all be well.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
What is that?
All right.
Peace.
You're now tuned into WSIM Radio.
Independent music all the time.